Have you ever noticed how in almost every room there always seem to be two very distinct types of people? The ones who feel sudden pressure to speak the moment silence settles, and the ones who sit quietly, observing, absorbing, listening while everyone else rushes to fill the air with noise. And do you ever wonder why some people seem almost uncomfortable with quiet moments, while others protect those moments like something sacred? Because if you really look closely, you'll see that in every group, whether it's friends laughing loudly, co-workers tossing opinions around like a game of catch, or strangers trying to out-talk each other, there is usually one calm, composed person who speaks only when something meaningful rises to the surface, not because they're shy or bored or antisocial, but because their silence carries a depth that most people never realize. And if you're one of these people, you already know what it feels like to be misunderstood, as if your calm is mistaken for distance or disinterest when the truth is so much deeper. Because people like you pause before speaking, you don't interrupt, you don't chase the spotlight, you take a breath, think first, and choose your words intentionally, not out of fear or insecurity, but out of responsibility. A belief that words matter and once spoken can't be taken back. Something psychology calls cognitive filtering. The mind's ability to sort thoughts, soften impulsive reactions, and refine meaning before anything is said. So your quietness isn't withholding. It's protecting clarity, asking yourself whether something is worth saying, whether it helps or harms, whether it adds value or simply adds noise. And it's not that you speak less because you know less, but because you understand exactly how powerful words can be, meaning your silence is not emptiness but precision. And people like you listen more than they talk, not passively but deeply, taking in details others overlook. The shift in tone, the tension. Behind someone's smile, the unspoken emotion tucked between their words. Because you're wired for connection, not small talk, but understanding. Something psychologists call high empathic attunement. The ability to tune into emotional frequencies the way others tune into music. And when the environment becomes chaotic or scattered or shallow, you naturally withdraw. Not to hide, but to protect your emotional balance. Because your silence isn't distance. It's emotional listening, a way of giving yourself space to breathe and giving others space to be real. Meaning you're not avoiding conversation, but choosing meaningful conversation. And you're not avoiding people, but avoiding overstimulation. Since your mind craves depth and shallow environments drain you faster than silence can refill you. A reaction some psychologists explain through something called a sensory evaluative threshold, meaning that your brain feels safest and clearest when there is less external noise and more emotional meaning. So when rooms become too loud, too chaotic, too performative, you quietly slip away. Not because you're overwhelmed or uninterested, but because your inner world is louder, richer, and more honest than anything happening around you. And you aren't running away from people, but running back to yourself, back to clarity and calm and meaning. Because for people like you, silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of understanding. The signal of someone who thinks before they act, feels before they react, observes before they judge. Someone deeply aware, aware of the room, aware of your emotions, aware of their impact. And because of that, you don't waste words, because you don't waste energy. Your mind functions like a careful curator rather than a messy storyteller. And if any of this feels familiar, if it feels like someone is finally describing the way you move through the world, then hear this clearly. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Your silence isn't a flaw or a weakness or a sign that you're antisocial. It's evidence that your mind works differently, more intentionally, more deeply, more honestly. And the truth is that people who prefer silence often carry entire internal universes within them, speaking only when it matters and quietly shifting the atmosphere when they do. Which is why you should never forget that silence is not emptiness, but expertise, emotional intelligence in its purest form, chosen rather than forced, a decision rather than an accident, a superpower rather than a mistake, a sign of a mind that refuses to be ordinary. So now the only question left is this. Are you the one who feels the silence or the one who understands it? And if this made you see yourself differently, if it finally put words to things you've always felt, then comment the part that resonated with you most. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you can stay connected as we dive deeper into the psychology that explains not just people, but you.